When I look at my daughter's wedding photos, I remember that night. The moment Liam's hand touched my leg. The moment I couldn't stop myself. And that morning, when I realized nothing would ever be the same again. Some mistakes are unforgivable. Mine was exactly that kind. But this story isn't just about betrayal. It holds many wrong decisions. I strongly recommend you listen to this story until the end. Also, please mention in the comments where you're listening to this from. I read all of them, and maybe there are others listening from the same place, and we can chat together. If you've got your coffee, I'm starting. Hello, everyone. My name is Emma. I'm 55 years old, and I've made many wrong decisions in my life so far, but none of them made me pay as heavy a price as the one I made that night. On the quiet streets of California, I thought I was living a peaceful life. I had a small but charming house in one of Pasadena's suburban neighborhoods. Everything was peaceful. At least it was peaceful then. I had divorced my husband 10 years ago. Klaus. That relationship had become exhausting, draining, and eventually toxic. Klaus loved to control. My money, my time, my friends, everything. When we divorced, I finally felt like I could breathe. But Klaus never forgave me, because I had left him. And in Klaus's world, no one could leave him. I had stayed with my only daughter, Olivia. She lived with me. She was 30 years old and life had smiled on her. She had a good job, she was a marketing director, she was successful, and of course, she had Liam. Liam was her boyfriend. When I first met him, I thought he was a polite man. He was 32 years old, an architect and talented. When Olivia brought him home, she said, "Mom, I love him so much." Her eyes sparkled as she said these words. She was clearly in love. That dinner was an ordinary family gathering. I cooked pasta, opened wine, we chatted. Liam was kind, friendly, an attentive listener. "Emma, your food was wonderful," he said. "Olivia talks about you a lot. You're truly a strong woman." Those words sounded nice, but the way Liam looked at me, those looks whispered that something was wrong, too long, too intense, too different. At first I ignored it. Maybe it just seemed that way to me. What prospective son-in-law would look at his future mother-in-law like that? But as the weeks passed, Liam's behavior changed. When Olivia was at work, Liam would sometimes stop by the house. "I just came to get Olivia's bag," he would say. Or, "She forgot her laptop. I'm picking it up." There was always an excuse, and each time he would stay a little longer. We would make coffee. We would chat. At first, we would talk about Olivia. But then, the topics changed. "Emma, are you alone?" he asked one day. "Yes, for 10 years. That must be hard. You get used to it. But getting used to it doesn't mean you're happy." I looked at him. There was something in his eyes. Understanding? Curiosity? Or something else? "Liam, you love Olivia, don't you?" "Of course, but sometimes I wonder, how different is Olivia from her mother?" "What do you mean?" "Olivia is strong, independent, but you're different from her. More mature." That word, mature. It sounded like a compliment, but at the same time, it was crossing a line. "Liam, this conversation, is it right?" he said. "Or is it wrong?" I couldn't answer, because I knew the answer. It was wrong, completely wrong. But a corner inside me, a dark corner, was saying, maybe it's right. As the days passed, Liam's actions started to become more different. 2 days before Olivia's henna night, Liam came. He had brought decoration materials for the wedding. Flower arrangements, candles, ribbon boxes. Everything was in his car trunk. Olivia had last-minute work and had gone to the office. She would be late. "Just Emma and I will handle it," Liam said to her on the phone. There was a hidden smile in his voice. When he came home, his arms were full of boxes. "I need help," he said, smiling. We set up the materials in the middle of the living room. We placed the candles, arranged the flowers. While working, our arms touched. "Sorry," he said. But he didn't pull back. An hour later, everything was ready. We were tired. "Would you like some wine?" I asked. Why not? I got a bottle of Cabernet from the kitchen. I filled 2 glasses. In the living room, we sat on the couch. On the first glass, we talked about Olivia. Wedding plans, honeymoon, the future. Everything was normal. On the second glass, the topics changed. Liam talked about his past. His family, his childhood, his dreams. I talked too. About Klaus, the divorce, the loneliness. Have you ever dated anyone? Liam asked. No, there were 1 or 2 attempts, but they didn't work out. Why? Because no one understood. Dating a divorced middle-aged woman was just fun for them. I was looking for something else, but I couldn't find it. What were you looking for? Understanding. Real understanding. Liam looked at me. Maybe you've been looking for understanding in the wrong place. What do you mean? He put his hand on my knee. I mean, sometimes what you're looking for may be very close to you, but you can't see it. My heartbeat quickened. I should have removed his hand. I should have said no to him. But I didn't. Liam, this is wrong. I know. Olivia won't know. And he kissed me. At that moment, the world stopped. My mind was screaming no, but my body was saying yes. 10 years of loneliness exploded at that moment. And I let myself go. We were together until midnight, in the bedroom, in the darkness, in the silence. Everything felt surreal, as if I was living someone else's life. But I wasn't. I was Emma. And I was really sleeping with my own daughter's fiancé. When morning came, as Liam was getting dressed, he said, "This has to stay between us." There was no regret in his voice, just urgency, as if he was ending a business meeting. Liam, what have I done? We both did it, Emma, but no one will know. What if Olivia finds out? She won't, if you don't tell. And he left. I stayed there among the sheets asking myself, what have I done? The answer was simple, the unforgivable. But I was already sorry. It was too late. The next day, Olivia came home. Mom, the decorations look amazing. Liam worked so hard. Yes, I said. My voice was trembling. He worked very hard. Olivia hugged me. Mom, are you okay? You look tired. I'm fine, sweetie. Just a little tired. Rest until the wedding. In 2 days, it will be my happiest day. I looked into her eyes. She was so innocent, so happy. And I had stolen her happiness. She didn't know yet. But one day she would learn. And that day, she would never forgive me. When the wedding day came, I was there. With my beige dress, my fake smile, and the guilt stabbing my chest, I was there. Olivia had put on her wedding dress. She was glowing. Mom, today is my happiest day, she kept saying. Then at one point, Liam and I made eye contact. He looked at me, then turned his head. As if nothing had happened. As if that night had never existed. Maybe it should remain as if it never happened, I thought. Maybe I would carry this secret to the grave. Olivia would be happy. She would continue her life. And I would just live quietly on the sidelines as a mother, but it never happened that way. 3 weeks after the wedding, Olivia stopped calling me. Normally, we would meet twice a week. We would have coffee, go shopping, chat, but this time, there was silence. I texted her, "How are you, sweetie? How was the honeymoon?" She didn't reply. 1 day, 2 days. A week passed. I started to worry. Maybe she was sick. Maybe there was a problem at work. Maybe she was just busy, or maybe she had found out. One last time I called again and finally she answered. "Olivia, can you hear me? Is there a problem?" There was coldness in her voice. "Mom, I don't want to talk to you." My heart tightened. "What happened? Please tell me." "Ask Liam." Olivia, and the phone hung up. At that moment, my heart jumped out of place. My hands trembled. Liam had told. Or Olivia had found out somehow. But how? No one had seen us that night. There were no witnesses. Just me and Liam. I called Liam. He didn't answer. I called again. Still no answer. I called 5 times. No response. I texted Olivia. "Please tell me what happened. I need to talk to you." Message delivered. Read. But no reply. Another week passed. I was at home, alone, going crazy. What was happening? Why wasn't Olivia talking to me? Then my door was knocked. When I opened the door, Klaus was in front of me. Klaus was Olivia's father. My ex-husband. We hadn't seen each other for many years after the divorce. We would run into each other at Olivia's birthdays, her graduation. But we wouldn't talk. We would just greet each other. Klaus was still angry at me. Because I had left him, and Klaus never forgave me. Now he stood there in his gray jacket with his icy stare. His face hard, his jaw tense, his hands in fists. "Klaus?" I said. "What do you want?" "Can I come in?" "Why?" "Because I need to talk to you. And I don't want to do it at the door." We went to the living room. He sat down, but he wasn't comfortable. On the couch, he sat upright, tense, angry. I sat across from him. "Olivia told me everything," he said. My stomach knotted. "What did she tell you?" "What you did with Liam." My mouth went dry. "Klaus, listen." "No, you listen." He leaned forward. His eyes were bright red. "You slept with your own son-in-law, with your own daughter's husband. What kind of mother does that?" Words knotted in my throat. It was a mistake." "Never again. A mistake?" Klaus's voice rose. "Olivia is shattered. Liam confessed everything. And you're sitting here saying it was a mistake. I need to talk to Olivia. I need to explain. No. Olivia will never talk to you again. Listen to me, Emma. You're out of our lives now. Olivia will stay away from you. If you try to approach her, I'll take legal action." "Legal action? I'm her mother." "Motherhood isn't just a blood bond. You broke that bond. You stole your daughter's trust, her happiness, her dreams. Now you'll pay the price." Klaus stood up. He walked to the door and suddenly stopped. He turned around. "One more thing. Olivia is filing for divorce. Liam confessed everything, but he's blaming you. He's saying Emma seduced me, and he'll prove it in court." The world spun. "What?" "You'll be called as a witness at the hearing. If you tell the truth, Olivia might forgive you someday. But if you lie, I'll destroy you." And he left. I was left alone, in the living room, in silence. There was only one question in my mind. How did this happen so fast? Liam had confessed everything, but he had blamed me. Emma seduced me. Was this a lie? No. Actually, we were both guilty. But Liam had changed the story. He had made himself the victim, and Olivia hadn't even believed me. She had believed Liam. I had become a monster to her now. Suddenly, I picked up the phone. I texted Olivia again. "Please talk to me. Let me explain everything. Liam is lying. We're both guilty." Message delivered, but not read. Had she blocked me? Hours passed. Night came. I couldn't sleep. I looked at the ceiling. The ceiling looked at me. When I closed my eyes, I saw Olivia's face. Happy, glowing, in her white wedding dress. "Mom, today is my happiest day, and I had destroyed her happiness." When morning came, there was an envelope in my mailbox, from a law firm. I opened it. Witness summons. Olivia Muller versus Liam Muller divorce case. Emma Hartman is summoned to court as a witness on March 12th. Hearing time, 9 a.m., location, Los Angeles Family Court. My hands trembled. I would go to court. Against my own daughter. I would explain my role in my own mistake. And everyone would know. Neighbors, friends, acquaintances. Emma Hartman, the woman who slept with her daughter's husband. With trembling hands, I went inside the house. Suddenly, my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. I answered. "Emma Hartman?" "Yes, my name is Sarah Connors. I'm a lawyer." "Did Klaus call you?" "Yes, I need to talk to you." "You need to prepare for court. Can you come to my office tomorrow?" "Why?" "Because if you go unprepared, Liam will destroy you." The next day, I went to Sarah Connors' office. It was in downtown Los Angeles, somewhere among the skyscrapers. When I sat in the waiting room, I looked around. There were other clients, too, and they all seemed full of pain. The assistant called, "Miss Hartman, Sarah is waiting for you." I went inside. Sarah was a woman in her 40s, with short hair and sharp eyes. She sat at her desk, gestured to me. Sit down. I sat down. Emma, let's get right to the point. What's the truth? The truth is this, I said. Liam and I were together one night, 2 days before Olivia's wedding. But Liam didn't seduce me. We're both guilty. Sarah took notes. So what is Liam saying? He's blaming me. He's saying Emma seduced me. Does he have proof? I don't know. Sarah put down her pen. She looked at me. Emma, in court, evidence is everything. Emotions, intentions, regrets. None of it matters. Only evidence matters. So, do you have evidence? Messages, voice recordings, witnesses? I thought. That night we hadn't written any messages. We hadn't even had a phone conversation. We were just there. And then we made that mistake. There were no witnesses. Olivia was at the office. The neighbors were at their homes. No one had seen? No, I said. There's nothing, Sarah nodded. Emma, in that case, you'll have a hard time in court. If Liam has constructed his story and you have no evidence, the jury might side with him. But that's not the truth. Truth is what's proven in court. Now listen, you're going to tell me everything, from beginning to end. Every detail, every word, because I'm looking for a contradiction, a gap in your story. If I find one, Liam can use it. For an hour, I told Sarah everything. Liam's first visit, the coffee conversations, that night, the morning, Liam's cold goodbye, his behavior at the wedding, Klaus's visit, the court summons, everything. Sarah listened. Took notes, asked questions. That night, did Liam open the wine or did you? I opened it. Who suggested it? Me, but Liam accepted. Did Liam approach you physically? He put his hand on my knee. But I didn't stop him. Why? I stayed silent. I didn't want to answer. Because the answer was shameful. Emma, why didn't you stop him? Because I had been alone for 10 years. And Liam made me feel valued. I showed a moment of weakness. But it was a big mistake. Sarah took notes. Okay, that's an honest answer. You'll say this in court too. Because honesty is your strongest weapon. We talked with Sarah for 2 hours. Then I went home. When I got home, I felt destroyed. Olivia wasn't calling me. Klaus had threatened me. Liam was lying. And I was just quietly falling apart. In the evening, my neighbor Dolores knocked on my door. Dolores was 65 years old, a retired teacher. She had been my neighbor for 20 years. Kind, caring, always helping. But that evening there was worry on her face. Emma, I need to talk to you. Come in, Dolores. She came in. She sat down. I made her tea. She was silent for a while. Then I saw Klaus, she said. He was here yesterday. I heard you arguing with him. Yes, I said. It's a complicated situation. Emma, I want to tell you something. Dolores leaned forward. Her voice lowered. Klaus was my former student. I know him. When he went to high school, he was in my class. He was a smart kid. But at the same time, he was vengeful. Once, a friend lied to him. Klaus punished him every day for 3 months. Small games, small revenges. But in the end, that boy left school. My skin got goosebumps. What do you mean? I mean, Klaus isn't here just to protect Olivia. He wants to punish you. You gave him hard times during the divorce. You divided the property. The custody agreement took a long time. Klaus must have lost control back then. And Klaus doesn't like losing control. But this is about Olivia, not Klaus. Emma, people take their revenge through their children. Klaus is now using Olivia. He's telling her, your mother betrayed you. But actually, Klaus is taking revenge on you. That night, Dolores's words echoed in my mind. Was Klaus just a protective father? Or was he settling an old score with me? I didn't know, but I would find out soon. A week before the court date, something happened. Olivia called me. When the phone rang and I saw her name on the screen, my heart pounded. My breath caught. Olivia? Mom? Her voice was cold, but at least she was talking. How are you? I asked. My voice was trembling. How do you think I am? My life is ruined, I know. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry every day. I'm sorry every second. Being sorry isn't enough, Mom. You slept with Liam. With my husband. 2 days before my wedding. How could you? I started crying. I don't know. It was a mistake. A big mistake. But Olivia, listen. Liam told me everything. How you approached him. How you gave him wine. How— No! My voice rose. Olivia, Liam is lying. That night we were both there. We're both guilty. But he's changing the story. He's making himself the victim. And you believe him? Silence. Long, heavy silence. Then, why should I believe you? Because I'm your mother. Because I've never lied to you. But you slept with Liam. I couldn't answer. Because she was right. In court, Olivia said, tell the truth. If you tell the truth, maybe one day I can talk to you. But if you lie, I never want to see you again. And she hung up. A week later, the court day came. It was cold when I entered the courthouse. Marble floors, high ceilings, lawyers, jurors, families passing through the corridors. Everyone looked serious. Everyone looked tense. I sat in the waiting room with Sarah. My hands were sweating. My legs were trembling. Are you ready? Sarah asked. No, you don't have to be. Just be honest. Tell the truth. Liam's lies will come out. What if they don't? They will. Trust me. But I couldn't believe it, because Liam had won everything so far. Olivia's trust. Klaus's support. The court's attention. And I was just losing. The door opened. The officer called, Emma Hartman, to the courtroom. I went inside. The room was large with high ceilings, wood-paneled walls, a giant American flag, a statue of the scales of justice above the judge's desk. 12 people sat in the jury seats. Different ages, different appearances, but they all had the same expression on their faces, curiosity and judgment. At the judge's desk, a gray-haired, serious-faced man was reviewing his documents. He took off his glasses, looked at me, and there, on the opposite side, Liam was sitting, in a suit, his hair neat, a calm expression on his face. His lawyer was next to him, a young, aggressive-looking man. But there was someone else next to him. A young woman, blonde hair, pregnant. Sarah whispered to me, Who is this woman? I don't know. Could she be Liam's fiancée? Fiancée? He hasn't even divorced Olivia yet. The judge struck the gavel. The hearing is beginning. Witness Emma Hartman, please come to the stand. I stood up. My legs weren't supporting me. I walked to the stand. The steps were long, slow, heavy. I sat down. The officer held out the Bible. I swore. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help me God. I sat down. Liam's lawyer stood up. Miss Hartman, he said. His voice was sharp, cold. When did you meet Liam Muller? When my daughter Olivia brought him home. About a year ago. And that night, 2 days before the wedding, what happened? I took a breath. I looked at the jury. They were all looking at me. Liam brought the wedding materials. Olivia was at the office. We were together. Did you or Liam initiate it? Both of us. But Liam says you seduced him. That you gave him wine. That you approached him. That you touched him. Is that true? No, the approach came from both of us. This was a mutual mistake, the lawyer smiled. A cold, sharp smile. Miss Hartman, there are messages you sent to Liam. What? Liam says you sent him messages before the wedding. Things like, I need to talk to you. Is that true? I searched my mind. Had I sent messages? No, I hadn't sent any messages. Liam and I had only talked face to face. No, I didn't send messages. The lawyer opened a file. He projected an image on the screen. Look here. This is a message sent to Liam from your phone number. Date. 3 days before the wedding, 10:17 p.m. It says, We need to talk alone. I looked at the screen. The message was there. My number, date, time, everything, but I hadn't sent that message. This isn't my message. But it's your number. Someone must have used my phone. Who? I couldn't answer. That night I was with Dolores. My phone was at home. Or in my bag. But who could have used it? I can't answer. But I didn't send that message, the lawyer smiled. There's another message. 2 days later, This should stay between us. From your number. Do you recognize it? No. I didn't send those messages. The judge intervened. Miss Hartman, are you sure? I'm sure, Your Honor. I didn't send those messages. But there were suspicious looks in the jury. A woman frowned. A man shook his head. Liam's lawyer was smiling. No further questions, said the lawyer. Sarah stood up. Your Honor, I want to question the source of these messages. IP address, metadata, everything should be examined. The judge nodded. Noted. Technical examination requested. Short recess. The judge called a recess. In the hallway, Sarah came to me. Emma, where did those messages come from? I don't know, but I didn't send them. Did Liam fabricate false evidence? It's possible. But how do we prove it? We'll call a technical expert. We'll examine phone records. We'll find the IP address. But we need time. I called Dolores. Dolores, do you remember 3 days before the wedding you were with me in the evening? Yes, Emma, we had dinner. From 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. we were at my house. Are you sure? I'm sure, because that night we watched the MasterChef finale. I remember. Can you give this in writing? Of course. Dolores quickly came to us and testified in my favor as a witness. Sarah also documented this. In addition, Sarah met with a friend who was an expert in computers and discussed something with him. And we were called again for the continuation of the hearing. The hearing continued where it left. Liam was called to the stand. He swore. He sat down. The lawyer asked, Mr. Mueller, what happened that night? Liam took a deep breath. Emma sent me a message. She said, I need to talk to you. So I went to the house. Olivia was at the office. Emma opened wine. We chatted. But then she approached. She put her hand on my leg. She kissed me. I was in shock. I tried to stop, but she insisted. And then we were together. But I didn't want to. Emma manipulated me. She talked about her loneliness, her emotional needs. And I became weak. The jury was taking notes. Some were nodding. Liam looked convincing. Sarah stood up. Mr. Mueller, did you send messages to Emma? No. Never? No. Then why did you go to Emma's house? Because she sent me a message. But Emma denies this. She's lying. Sarah pulled out the document. This is witness testimony showing that Emma was with her neighbor Dolores between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. that night. Therefore, it's impossible for her to send a message at 10:17 p.m., Liam's lawyer objected. The witness may be biased. Well, are phone records biased? Sarah presented another document. This is the IP address of the message. The message was sent from your house, Mr. Mueller, not from Emma's house. Whispers began in the jury. Liam's face tensed. This must be a mistake. A mistake? Or false evidence? The judge struck the gavel. Silence. A technical expert will be called. The source of these messages will be examined. The hearing is postponed. When I went outside, Liam was waiting at the door. I went to him. Liam, did you fabricate those messages? He smiled. Emma, are you really playing the innocence game? You approached me that night. And now you're trying to blame me. You're lying. Lying? Who looks convincing in court? You or me? I was trembling with anger. What about that woman? The pregnant woman. Who is she? Liam's smile widened. She's my fiancée. Her name is Carla. Yes, while divorcing Olivia, I'm with someone else. And yes, she's pregnant. But you know, life goes on, Emma. You're a monster. No, Emma. You're the monster. You slept with your own daughter's husband. And now everyone knows it. You'll live with this stigma for the rest of your life. Olivia will learn the truth. Olivia already knows. And she doesn't believe you. When I got home, I felt destroyed. I picked up the phone. I texted Olivia, Liam is lying. The messages are fake. Please believe me. But the message wasn't read. Then Klaus called. Emma, you were disgraced in court today. Olivia doesn't want to see you again. If you try to call again, I'll file a harassment lawsuit. Klaus, listen. No. You listen. You're out of our lives now. Olivia has cut all ties with you. Forget the house, too. The house your grandfather left you. Olivia is filing a lawsuit to cancel your rights in court. What? That house is mine. Not anymore, Emma. Your grandfather left a joint inheritance to you and Olivia. But there was a condition. If Emma ceases to be a morally and psychologically responsible person, the right passes entirely to Olivia. And you, Emma, you violated that condition. This is ridiculous. It's not. The court requested a psychiatric evaluation. If you're found unstable, the house will become Olivia's. And the phone hung up. My head spun. The house? That house was my life. It was my grandfather's memory. The place where my childhood passed. And now would I lose that too? When I woke up the next morning, there was another envelope in my mailbox. Court order. I opened it. Emma Hartman has been referred by court order for psychological evaluation. Evaluation date, March 20th. Expert, Dr. Alan Fisher. What? Why? They want such a thing, I said to myself, and I immediately called Sarah. Sarah, the court is sending me to a psychiatrist. What's happening? Emma, this is a standard procedure. Liam's lawyer claimed you're emotionally unstable. The judge requested an evaluation to verify this. But I'm not unstable. I know, but you have to prove it. Be honest with Dr. Fisher. Tell the truth. But stay calm. If you have emotional outbursts, the report will be negative. What about the house? The house? The house is in danger, Emma. If you're found unstable, Klaus will be right. And the house will pass to Olivia. Okay, I'll stay calm, I said, and hung up. The next day, I went to Dr. Alan Fisher's office. The office was in the city center. When I entered the waiting room, Liam was sitting there. When he saw me, he smiled. Emma, what a surprise to see you here. What are you doing here? I came for evaluation too. The court sent both you and me. They'll create psychological profiles of both of us. My stomach churned. You planned this? No, Emma, the court planned it. I'm just following the rules. The assistant called. Mr. Mueller, Dr. Fisher is ready. Liam stood up. As he passed by me, he stopped. He whispered, Emma, don't get angry. Dr. Fisher writes emotional outbursts in his report. And you already look like a bomb ready to explode, but still be careful. And he went inside. An hour later, Liam came out. There was a smile on his face. Good luck, Emma. Your turn, he said. They called my name and I went inside. Dr. Fisher was a serious man in his 50s, with glasses. He sat at his desk, gestured to me. Miss Hartman, please, sit down. I sat down. I'm going to ask you a few questions, said Dr. Fisher. It's important that you be honest. This evaluation will be a report for the court. Okay. Can you describe your relationship with Liam Mueller? I took a deep breath. I told everything. At the same time, I said that Liam was lying, that he fabricated the messages, that he planned everything to make me look guilty. Dr. Fisher took notes. There was no expression on his face. So, how do you feel right now? Guilty, sad, and angry. Who are you angry at? At Liam, at myself, at Olivia not believing me, at Klaus's revenge. How does Olivia not believing you affect you? It destroys me. Because she's my daughter. And I lost her. Every day, every hour, I think about losing her. And this is killing me from the inside. Dr. Fisher took off his glasses. Emma, I won't diagnose you, but I'll write a report for the court. This report will reflect your emotional state, your decision-making ability, your social relationships. If you appear stable, no problem. But if you show unstable signs, this case will be difficult for you. Unstable? Like what? Tendency to manipulate, denial of reality, blaming others, emotional lability. These are the criteria the court is looking for. But I'm not doing these things. Dr. Fisher raised his head. He looked at me. Emma, your voice just rose. You became defensive. This is a sign of emotional lability. I made fists with my hands. I breathed. I tried to calm down. I'm sorry. I'm just very stressed. I understand. But the court will look at how you manage stress. If you can't manage it, that's a problem. If you're ready, let's begin. I'm ready, I said, and we started the evaluation. The evaluation lasted an hour. He asked questions, did tests, and noted everything. There was still no expression on his face. When I came out, Liam was waiting in the parking lot. He was walking toward his car. I went to him. "Liam, what did you tell Dr. Fisher?" He turned. "The truth. You seduced me." I became weak. "But you were manipulative." "Liar." "Maybe. But Dr. Fisher believed me. Because I'm calm. But you're emotional and angry, Emma. And angry people lose in court. Also, I still can't forget that night. You're disgusting. Liam, don't ever cross my path again. Unfortunately, Emma, we'll meet a few more times," he said. I turned my head and walked away. A week later, the report results came. I looked at the result with Sarah. She opened it and started reading. Then her face fell. "Emma, this isn't good." "What does it say?" "Dr. Fisher wrote that you show emotional lability, meaning your emotions are unstable. Also, he wrote difficulty accepting own mistakes and tendency to blame external factors." "What?" "But I admitted everything." "Yes, but at the same time you blamed Liam. Dr. Fisher interpreted this as blaming others. This is ridiculous." "Maybe, but the court will take this report into consideration. And it looks like they'll open another new case for the house using this report." After those sentences, my head spun. Liam was winning. At every step, every time he lied, he was winning. And I was losing despite telling the truth. What could be worse than this, I said to myself. That week, it got worse. Olivia published a post on social media. A long post. A post titled, "My Mother and Her Betrayal." She had written everything there. The night with Liam, but Liam's version. How I was manipulative. How I showed no respect for family values. How I betrayed my daughter as a mother. She had written everything, and the post was seen by all the relatives. Dozens of comments were made. "Emma, what kind of mother have you become? Emma, you're a disgusting person. I never want to see you again. Poor Olivia. Emma, who slept with her daughter's husband. You're disgusting. I had become the enemy in their eyes. When I went to the market, I ran into my cousin. When she saw me, she turned her head and walked away with quick steps. I left my shopping halfway. I went straight home. I locked the door. And I cried. I cried for hours. Then suddenly Klaus called. Did you see the post? Olivia exposed you. Now everyone knows who you are. Emma Hartman, the scandal woman. Klaus, that's enough. I'm already paying my punishment. No, Emma, the punishment has just begun. Olivia is talking about your inheritance rights. The house left by your grandfather. The court, based on Dr. Fisher's report, may decide that you're not a responsible person. And then, the house will pass entirely to Olivia. Klaus, this is revenge. You're just taking revenge on me. Maybe. But it's justified revenge. You destroyed Olivia. Now it's your turn. And he slammed the phone in my face. I couldn't believe all this was happening. I immediately changed my clothes and went to Sarah. I told her what Klaus said. Emma, as I told you before, this is possible, she said. If the court sees you as unstable, Olivia can claim full rights to the house. Especially if it's joint property and if there's such a condition in your grandfather's will. But I'm not unstable. But the reports show otherwise. The court will take these into consideration. So what can I do? Sarah stopped. She sat at her desk. She looked at me. Fight, she said. Gather your own evidence. Prove Liam's lies. Show that those messages are fake. But you have to be fast. The next hearing is in 2 weeks. Okay, I said, and left there. When I got home, I was going to start looking for evidence, but it would be step by step. First step. Did I look at Liam's phone that night? No. But maybe my phone records will show something. I called the phone company. Hello, I want my phone records. What date range? Last February. Complete records. It will take a week. And it's paid? No problem. A week later, the records came by email. There were pages full of data. Date, 3 days before the wedding. Time, 10:17 p.m. Message sent to Liam. We need to talk alone, But on the same page, there was another detail. The IP address. Where the message was sent from, IP 192.168.1.45. Location, Pasadena, California. Address, Liam's house. My heart pounded. The message was sent from Liam's house, not from my phone. How is this possible? I called Sarah. Sarah, I found it. The message was sent from Liam's house. I was with Dolores at that time. Therefore, Liam fabricated false evidence. Emma, that's great. But we already submitted this to the court. Still, keep it, we'll use it again. You look for other evidence? Okay, I said. And I moved to the second step. Second step, Liam's fiancée, Carla. Who was this woman? Was she really pregnant? Or was this also a game? I searched for Liam on social media. His account was private. But Carla's account was public. There were photos with Liam at the beach, at a restaurant, at a concert. Dates, 1 week after the wedding. 2 weeks after the wedding? So Liam was with Carla while married to Olivia. I took screenshots. I noted the dates. This showed that Liam was cheating on Olivia. I noted all of this, and I moved to the third step. Third step, my grandfather's will. Klaus had said, "Your grandfather put a condition." But I had never seen that will. I had just trusted Klaus's word. I went to the notary office. "Hello, I want to see my grandfather's will. Wilhelm Hartmann, are you a relative?" "I'm his granddaughter." "ID, please." I showed my ID. The notary took the file from the archives. "Here you go." But copying is forbidden. You can only read. I read the will. Every line. Every word. My house is left as joint inheritance to my granddaughter Emma and her daughter Olivia. Equal shares. But then there was another clause. If Emma ceases to be a morally or psychologically responsible person, the right passes entirely to Olivia. This clause was really there. Klaus wasn't lying. But something seemed strange. The signature. It was my grandfather's signature. When my grandfather changed the will, he had Alzheimer's. His hand would shake. He couldn't write. But this signature was too neat, too clear, too perfect. When was this signature made? I asked the notary. 2 years ago. March 2023. My grandfather had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's at that date. According to medical records, he was unable to sign. The notary hesitated. If so, this will may be invalid. But you need to prove it in court. How? You need to submit medical records, doctor reports, hospital documents. And you need to call a handwriting expert. I immediately left there and found my grandfather's doctor, Dr. Richard Stone, a retired neurologist. I called him. "Dr. Stone, I'm Emma Hartmann, Wilhelm Hartmann's granddaughter." "Emma." "Of course I remember. Your grandfather was a wonderful person. I was very sorry about him. Thank you. I want to ask you something. Could my grandfather sign in March 2023? There was a moment of silence. Then, no. At that date, Alzheimer's was in advanced stage. Motor skills were lost. It was impossible for him to sign. Can you give this in writing? Of course. Along with medical records. Thank you, I said, and waited for the records from the doctor. A week later, Dr. Stone's report came. Wilhelm Hartmann was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, advanced stage, in March 2023. Loss of motor skills, tremor, loss of writing ability were documented. Therefore, it was medically impossible for him to sign at this date. When Sarah saw this is perfect, she said. Klaus's will document is fake. We'll submit it to court. Your grandfather's real will only says equal sharing. The condition added later is invalid. Will Klaus accept this? No, but he has no choice now. If the court sees this report, Klaus's claims will collapse. And that night, Olivia called me. When the phone rang and I saw her name on the screen, I was shocked. Olivia? Mom. Her voice was sad. She had clearly been crying. How are you? I'm not good. Mom, I need to talk to you. Of course. What happened? Liam lied to me. My heart started beating fast. What lie? Carla, that woman. I ran into her today. At the coffee shop. Pregnant, and she said she's been with Liam for 6 months. 6 months, Mom? That means long before the wedding. Even before the engagement. Olivia. This means Liam not only cheated with you, but also with her. And maybe you didn't approach him that night. Maybe he manipulated me. I could tell from her voice that she was very sad. Olivia, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. I'm sorry too, Mom. I didn't believe you. I believed Liam. I disgraced you to the relatives, and you were telling the truth. Olivia, we all made mistakes. Me, you, Liam. But now the truth is coming out. Mom, can I see you? Of course. Whenever you want. Tomorrow? At your house? Okay, I'll be waiting. The next day, Olivia came home. When I opened the door, I saw her. She had lost weight. Her eyes were swollen. There was fatigue, sadness, regret on her face. We hugged and both of us started crying. Mom, she said, I missed you so much. I missed you so much too, sweetie. We went to the living room. I made tea. We sat down. We talked. Mom, Liam planned everything. The story he told me, the messages in court. Everything was a lie. I know. But why? Why did he do this to you? Because Liam is a selfish person. He uses people for his own benefit. He used you. He used me. He's using Carla. Everything is for his own benefit. But why is Dad so angry at you? I took a deep breath. Olivia, your father is now trying to settle old scores with me. After the divorce, Klaus didn't forgive me. And now he's trying to take revenge on me by using you. Olivia nodded. I know. I talked to Dad yesterday. I told him I wouldn't give this game, this war anymore. If you continue, I'll never talk to you again. What did he say? Nothing. He just left silently. But he was angry. Come, I said to Olivia. Come lay in my lap. Like when you were little. And she immediately curled up like a little girl. And she stayed with me that night. At night, she slept in her old room. In that room where her childhood passed. And I went to my own room, and after a long time, I had a good sleep. When morning came, I went straight to Olivia. She was already up, looking at the old childhood photos on the wall. When I entered, her first sentence was, Mom, what will happen in court? I don't know. But now you're with me, and that changes everything. I'll win the case. Because now you know the truth too, and you can testify in my favor. Yes, I will, and we'll win the case, she said. That day, Olivia created a petition for court. The next day, she submitted it to court. She also called her lawyer. I'm changing the inheritance case. I want a full attack against Liam. Cheating, manipulation, false evidence. Everything. I also talked to Sarah. Sarah said, this changes everything. Now the jury will see Liam differently, and they can rule in your favor. But Klaus still wasn't accepting it. He called me. Don't think Olivia came back to you. This is temporary. Liam lied to her, but you still slept with him that night. This fact doesn't change. Klaus, that's enough now. Olivia is with me, and you can't control her anymore, for now. But when the trial is over, she'll come back to me. Because I'm her father. And you're a mother who betrayed her. Klaus, let me tell you one more thing. My grandfather's will is fake. The signature was made during the Alzheimer's period. Medical reports prove this. I'll submit it to court. Silence. There was a long silence. Then, what? Just as you heard. Your will documents are invalid. The house will remain equally to Olivia and me. Your revenge game is over, Klaus. And this time I was the one who hung up on him. It was a good feeling, and the hearing we were impatiently waiting for came. This time, everything was different. Olivia was sitting with me. Liam was on the opposite side, but now he was alone. Carla hadn't come to court. The judge struck the gavel. New evidence will be presented. Miss Hartman? Sarah stood up. She presented Dolores' statement. This document proves that Emma wasn't home at 10 p.m. that night. Therefore, that message couldn't have been sent by Emma. Liam's lawyer objected. This is a neighbor's statement. It could be biased. Well, is the IP address biased? Sarah called the technical expert. This message was sent from Liam Mueller's house, not from Emma's house. Mr. Thompson, would you explain? The technical expert was a middle-aged man with a beard. He came to the stand. Yes. IP address 192.168.1.45 is registered to Liam Mueller's house in Pasadena. The message was sent from Emma's phone number, but the physical location is Liam's house. This means Liam cloned Emma's number or used an application to send a fake message. Whispers began in the jury. Liam's lawyer was sweating. This could be a technical error. No, said the expert. IP records are very clear. There's no margin of error. The judge turned to Liam. Mr. Mueller, your explanation? Liam hesitated. His face tensed. I just what? Did you fabricate false evidence? No, Emma really wrote to me, the records may have gotten mixed up. Records don't get mixed up, Mr. Mueller. This is a serious accusation. Lying to the court? The judge shook his head. This case contains very serious irregularities. Then he struck his gavel on the desk. The decision will be announced within 2 weeks. But I'll say this now. In this case, the innocent party appears to be Miss Hartman, and the hearing ended. When I went outside, Liam was waiting at the door. But this time he wasn't smiling. His face was hard, angry. Emma, he said. This isn't over. I think it is, Liam. No, you still slept with me that night. That's real. And people will know this. On social media everywhere. You'll live with this stigma for the rest of your life. Maybe. But you'll also live as a liar who cheated on his wife with his mother-in-law. And Olivia now knows the truth. Liam narrowed his eyes. You won't win. Maybe I won't. But you definitely lost. Olivia came to me. She looked at Liam. You're a monster, Liam. And Olivia and I turned our heads and walked toward the exit. That evening, when we got home, Klaus was waiting at the door. There was a mixture of anger, shame, and regret on his face. Olivia, he said, I need to talk to you. No, Dad, I have nothing to talk to you about. Please, I was just trying to protect you. No, you were trying to take revenge on Mom, and you used me. This is unforgivable. Klaus looked at me. Emma, No, Klaus, I said. You did everything to take revenge on me for years. You used Olivia. You prepared a fake will. But now everything has come out, you know. You lost. Okay, you won. I'll withdraw the case, he said, and got in his car and left. Olivia held my hand. Mom, is it over? Yes, sweetie. It's over. And today, 6 months later, Olivia is living with me. In the mornings we have coffee together. We sit in the garden. Birds are singing. The lemon trees have bloomed. Everything is peaceful. Mom, Olivia says. Do you think forgiveness is easy? No, forgiveness is the hardest thing. Because forgiving means accepting the pain. But at the same time, forgiving means being free. So have you forgiven yourself? I stop, I think. I sip my coffee. No, I finally say. Not yet, but I'm working on it. Every day I tell myself, Emma, you made a mistake, but this doesn't define you. And maybe one day I'll forgive myself. Olivia holds my hand. I forgave you, Mom. Maybe this can be a start for you to forgive yourself. My eyes fill. Thank you, sweetie. Olivia says, Mom, I want to ask one more thing. Yes? If you could go back to that night, what would you do? I think. After a long silence, I would say no, I say. To Liam, to that glass of wine, to that moment of weakness, to everything. I would say no. Because that yes changed everything. But unfortunately, life doesn't go backward. It only goes forward, and we move forward by learning, suffering, growing. Yes, my dear listeners, that's all I have to tell for today. But what would you do? After making such a mistake, would you expect to be forgiven? Or are some mistakes truly unforgivable? And when someone like Liam manipulates everyone, what do you think his punishment should be? Write in the comments. I'm curious about your thoughts. Do you have your own stories? Share them. And if this story made you feel something, please like and subscribe to the channel. Every day I share real-life dramas, betrayal stories, tales of revenge and forgiveness. Sometimes life drags us to the darkest corners. But what matters is how we get out of there. Like Emma, maybe we've all made mistakes. Maybe we're all trying to forgive ourselves. This isn't just a story. This is a reflection of the battle we all live inside. See you in the next story. Take care of yourselves.